Hey YouTube, it's been a while. There's a lot I want to talk about in this video, but in order to get this video out before 2028, I had to cut it short. I had to condense. Quick recap, I started making League adjacent content in 2022. I also stopped making any content in 2022. Since 2022, I've had a lot of health battles and various reasons to give up for good. If you want to hear more about that, check out this channel. I'll be talking about it over there eventually. My intent with this video is to explain to everyone, Riot and the player base, how part of this dev update has been far more problematic than it has been helpful. You probably already know what I'm talking about, but I'll try to be brief. Boosting is bad. Hitchhiking is bad. Bot and shared accounts are bad. I'm on board with all of those issues. Smurfing? Let's find out. Point one. If you think you're losing games because there are people in your lobby that are better than you need to wake up. Just like anything in life, you need to focus on the variables that you can control. No one in the history of mankind has ever achieved a goal and deserved it by sitting around and blaming other people for being in their way. What I'm trying to say is, from a player's perspective, this is a band-aid on a bullet hole. You're still not going to climb if you can't look internally and go over each game to find out what you did wrong and focus on what you can improve on. People that can solo carry games have lost way more games trying to figure out how to do that than you can possibly imagine. Don't believe this idea that Riot needs you. Yes, I believe it's true that Riot does care about their players and their games, but if we can just be honest for a second, the company is financially incentivized to keep you around. Most of you have probably bought skins before, so you've spent money on the game. This brings me to my second point. Point number two, Riot has good business sense. Sort of. Whether you believe it or not, or realize it or not, they are planning for the future. Have you ever heard of Hytale? I'll be brief. It's a sandbox game with mods and will compete with games like Roblox and Minecraft. It also may never release. Regardless of if it does, Riot has spent over $100 million on this game. That number is likely due to what it cost them to acquire Hypixel Studios in the first place, and then some on top of that for actually investing in the development of the game. As far as I know, they have not taken any creative lead on Hytale whatsoever, which is great for the studio and its fans, but this does mean that that's definitely not the MMO that nobody's talking about. But guys, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Apart from Hytale and the MMO, there's Arcane and so many other one-off niche games that may have come from the universe built around League of Legends, but they can still stand alone as their own titles. The point of all of this is that Riot has good business sense in the sense that they're thinking ahead. They will literally drop anyone for anything in a moment's notice. The only reason they put up with you is because you're a potential customer. That's not to say that they don't care about you. That's to say that Riot's most valuable asset is Riot. If Riot sees you as a potential threat to their profit, goodbye. League of Legends will eventually be a sinking ship that Riot has no intention of going down with, which is why they are so heavily investing in every other kind of game. They know League isn't going to last forever. Riot is not in the business of making your ranked games easier. They're in the business of making money.
The company is financially incentivized to keep you around.
Hey, can you stop? Can you stop? They're in the They're in the business of making money. But I promise that punishing the content creators that actually play the game so much that they make multiple accounts and promote the game, punishing these people is only going to kill it faster. Which brings me to point number three. We could go way back to the original sin of the donkey ban.
I'm done making League of Legends videos.
And he was one of the only content creators promoting the game at the time. Now, while the game grew wildly and had massive success without him, I think everyone still has a lot to learn from his situation. I'm not by any means going to excuse what Donkey did that got him banned. That type of talk is toxic and it has absolutely no place in League of Legends. But so is the behavior that he was complaining about, which I think everyone can agree is way worse than somebody calling you anything.
You know what? That man, I'm sick of this koala hugging.
And if you look back at the video, Donkey was on his main account trying to climb the ranked ladder. According to this most recent dev update, he was playing the game the right way, not smurfing. Unlike this other content creator whose story inspired me to make this video, Pentalus. If you haven't looked into this, watch Pentalus' video on it. Support the man, don't kick him while he's down. Both League of Legends and the world already have enough of that. Basically, Pentalus is a streamer doing an unranked to challenger climb on a fresh account that he leveled himself, and he posts something on X, a picture of him hitting platinum, I think it was, his op.gg with a great win rate. And he said, I don't know how people can have 100 plus games in sub gold or whatever and still not have a 330 clear. Something, he was crapping on people, but something like that. And a rioter responded and not only banned his Smurf account, but banned his main account too. That's pretty bogus considering Riot has a history of publicly rewarding people for doing that.
Riot Games, you better fucking clip this. You better save it. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
The goal was it was educational, but I liked the way that Rat IRL kind of responded to that for the most part. But it just makes a man wonder, if Riot is going to ban some people exclusively for smurfing, you know, to climb on a fresh account to challenger, what about the 5-time? What about T1? You know, the most popular League streamer there's ever been. The guy that was banned, then reformed, then unbanned, then heavily promoted by Riot Games for...
When you hit challenger for that rule, the 80 carry date is for an account that isn't permaban, so it might be a bit off. On S8 is so fun, that account's not permaban. Darkhawk isn't fucking permaban. T1 KDS isn't permaban, and all those accounts hit challenger, 80 carry.
For... Oh, that's right. Doing exactly what they banned Pentalus for. And you can say, oh, it's just a 30-day. No, it's not. Because now the account is flagged. And anyone that's mad at him for anything can report him for no reason. And he is now far more likely to trigger some system at Riot because his account has already been flagged. I have some genuine solutions to this problem that I have to save for another video. I want Riot to see these ideas, because I care about the company, I care about the game, and I care about its players. And my next point is the reason why. This is my testimony. This is my personal experience that I think encompasses every side of the current issue at hand. This one's going to be controversial. There's a lot of components to it, but it has to be said. Smurfs are good for the community. Smurfs are bad for the rank ladder, but they are good for the community. Here's my story. When I first started playing League of Legends and I was brand new, I sucked at the game. I still suck, but that's somewhat up for debate. I did hit Diamond, but according to Rat IRL, I'm not even qualified to teach people the game, which I would agree with. The best way to start getting good, though, is to accept that you're bad. And I have no problem admitting that I'm a bad player. Well, 10 years ago, I was even worse. And I was in a game of League, I was feeding unintentionally, and every player on my team was telling me I should uninstall, give up on life, and I wanted to. I wanted to shut the game off and never play it again. But there was one player on my team doing well. My Shyvana jungle admitted to us that they were a Smurf and they were ready to carry. It didn't take him long to figure out that I had no idea what I was doing. I had just hit level 30, and up until that point, I'd been playing mostly Warwick. So if you know anything about Shen's ultimate ability, you know that there's a right way to use it. I, for the life of me, could not figure out what that was. And I kept using it from the side lane I was defending, trying to be with my team when I saw enemies appear with them. So whatever enemy was pushing my lane then had free reign to push uncontested, and the enemies in the lane I just showed up to could back off for free, knowing our team had just wasted a valuable resource, a pretty pivotal ultimate ability that I was using on people that weren't in combat. Every time I did it, my team flamed me. And every time my teammates would say things that would get them banned today. Even my jungler said something that would have gotten him banned. You know, the one that was nice to me, the one that taught me how to use my abilities, the one that said, don't worry, I'm smurfing. He said to me after the third time I messed it up, you don't want to use it unless you see a fight breaking out. You can't just watch the map. You have to actually click on it and see when the fight starts. Because sure, teleporting across the map when you see enemies is awesome, but the ult gives a huge shield that you're completely wasting if you cast it on someone that's not in combat. He said, I'm gonna ping on the way. When you see me do that, you cast your ult on me. And sure enough, he went in 1v4 at the enemy inhibitor turret in the bot lane, which would have resulted in certain death if it weren't for my shield. And then on top of that, my presence in the fight. Long story short, we won the game. But for me, as a brand new player, it was so much more than that. It felt like a light in the darkness to be praised for a game-breaking play that I helped make in a game that would have been completely forfeit because of me. If we had lost, it would have been my fault. I was playing so badly, but because of this person that was significantly better than me, they were able to open my eyes and positively impact a lobby full of people that didn't deserve it. And you might be thinking, well, smurfing does suck. The team that was supposed to win didn't win. And while I agree with you, that kind of brings us full circle back to my original point. Everyone had something to learn that game. Everyone had something to take away from it. Getting to watch good players play at your side gives you a side-by-side comparison that you can't really get anywhere else unless you pay for coaching. And please, let's be real for a minute. If you played against a Smurf every game, yeah, it would be a problem. But you and I both know that's not the case. You and I both know it's easier to blame someone else for where you're at in life than actually stand up and face your circumstances head on. Even good players lose sometimes if you buck up and quit whining. Just look at Pentelis's match history. As this rioter pointed out in his Vanguard jumpsuit,
Just because Vanguard.
yes, Challenger players can lose. And do you know why that is? It's because no one has a 100% win rate.
Drew states that a Challenger player getting gapped by Silver Gold Jungler and you think the Challenger player play normally. He's referring to this game where I lost against Emerald 3 average lobby in normal games. However, if you take a look at the actual normal games on this account, you can see that this one game was the only one game that I lost in a session while basically stomping every other game, being in normal or high normal MMR, since I'm playing against Emerald 3 players, Silver 1 players, Gold 3 players, Gold 1 players tier average, right? Drew wants to imply that I got an Iron Fork, I intentionally lost games, or I found some sort of way to intentionally trick the system that I'm an Iron Fork player, so that's why I got placed into Iron Fork. But this is simply not true. This is actually a problem in Riot Games matchmaking. I feel like it is completely disingenuous to just include one game where I didn't perform the best in, when the other 3 games right before it, I'm giving a clear indication to Riot Games on my skill level.
Just because Vanguard.
Everybody loses games. A 60% win rate is way more than enough to climb. And people actually brag about it like it's good. People brag about losing 40% of games. And you want to complain about the Smurfs you face in 5 to 10%? Get real, dude. There is a huge learning opportunity when you play in a lobby with someone better than you, no matter whose team they're on. It teaches you ways the enemy can exploit you that you can then plan for and prevent. And that is how you become a better player. For me, the times that I improved the most are the times that I got my ass handed to me. Was this a ranked game? I don't really remember. But regardless of whether or not it was, smurfing is phenomenal for the community. Nobody likes coming home from work and getting stomped. But the thing about League of Legends being a competitive game is that people are either going to try to win, or they're going to blame someone else for why they can't, or they're just not going to play at all. How many games have you been in where someone on your team says something stupid like, I don't care, it's just a game? Well, Riot, which is it? Is it a game or a competition? I would argue that the competitive nature of the game is what makes it worth playing. Nobody wants the dude on their team that doesn't care, doesn't try, or worse, doesn't show up. That's for everything in life. If you have ever been good at anything, you can easily spot the difference between people that are bad because they don't know or bad because they don't care. If your goal is to reach Diamond in League of Legends and you haven't done it yet, I promise you, that is no one else's fault. If there are people like Pentelis that are capable of just walking through your elo all the way to Challenger, honestly ask yourself, what is stopping you from being that good? It's not the Smurfs. They're making you better. Educated and experienced players are good for the community. They might sometimes be bad for the game, but so are people that run it down and go AFK. You can lose games for any number of reasons, but if you are, dare I say it, blessed enough to have someone in your lobby that is way better than you, aren't you at least a little bit excited to learn in what ways they are better than you and what makes them so good? I would argue that identifying the differences between how you play and how someone extremely better than you plays is actually helpful. How bad can something really be for the quality of a game if it is actually good for the player base as a whole? This story took place back in Season 5. I didn't know this person. This was before the Shen rework. I may not have even been level 30. It might have been a normal game. And it doesn't matter if you win or if you lose. It doesn't matter if the good player is on your team or if the good player is on the enemy team. The point is, you want to become the good player. Why would you want to do that if the height of that means that you get banned for playing the game? Point number 5. My 5th and final point is this. I do believe that Riot actually cares about the players and the rank ladder. But if you watch the dev update and you got it into your head that they care at all about your individual rank, you are out of your mind. They sent Tyler1 a care package for hitting Challenger in all 5 roles on all 5 accounts, which is now ban-worthy. The same Tyler1 that has people stream snipe him constantly and has had several weeks where it's been like a recurring thing. I don't watch his streams anymore. The WoW content was peak, so I don't know if it's still a problem for him. But if they really wanted to fix the smurfing thing, they might want to replace publicly congratulating and rewarding people for doing it with paying a minimum wage employee to work from home and literally watch people stream League and police their games exclusively for banning people that are intentionally doing this kind of thing.
Your impact on the community is profound, and we hope you keep enjoying League of Legends right along with us for years to come. Here's to the next challenge. Your impact on the community is profound.
Just because Vanguard.
Boosting is bad. Hitchhiking is bad. Shared and bought accounts are bad. But do you know why people do it? It's because there's an incentive. Someone is offering them money for their services. If you want people to play on their main account at their elo versus people that are their skill level, you should incentivize them. What is the advantage to being this challenger player that just gets banned when he tries to demonstrate that to people? There's no advantage, and he never gets to if he plays at his level because he never gets to play, especially if you ban him. I think streamers should be allowed to hire an employee at Riot and pay their salary so that they can have a representative there at the company actively watching their games so that they don't just get intentionally trolled every single game. You should be incentivizing people to promote your game, not punishing them for it. Peace, and may God bless you. I don't want you to misunderstand me. I think that what Riot did when T1 accomplished his goal, I think that was awesome. I think the community would benefit so much more from that. I think they used to give out backpacks or something for hitting Challenger. Now you get nothing. You get nothing. You get nothing. And now, on top of that, you don't even get the ability to brag about it, which is a luxury that I don't think anyone should really be afforded. I'm just saying, what is even the benefit to playing ranked if when you get to the top at Challenger, you can't play the game at your level because you never get queues or you get trolled, and you can't play the game at anyone else's level because you get banned. Congratulations, you won. Now you can go yourself.